What's going on, my friends? This is the Family Vault, and today we are going to be talking about college savings and how you don't have to give up everything just to send your kids through college. And we're going to just jump right into this, and we're going to start off. Here we go. So, what do you need to go to college? Most people would believe that you need a college savings plan. And I'm going to tell you right now that you don't need a college savings plan, you need money. And what's important is where you keep your money determines how much you will accumulate over your lifetime, right? So most people are told that they go to a financial advisor and the financial advisor is instructed to sell widgets, right? They're instructed to sell you these buckets, right? This one bucket right here is a 529. That's how you save. This bucket right here is your retirement, right? That's how you save. This bucket right here is the tax-free part, right? It's the Roth retirement. This is how you save, right? As anybody that has come from an engineering background and understands force, whenever you are applying force over a lever in unequal spots, you are not as effective as if you were just applying one large force down here at the end, right? Instead of having all of our money going to these different buckets that are going to be at different times in our life, if we will just start looking at our money as a tool and we want to apply the most force at the right time, okay? So the most force at the right time. One of the other things that no one ever talks about is each one of these buckets has three thieves: taxes, fees, and market volatility. Right? You have to survive the market with each of these types of account, and they're going to be going into there, and you're going to be subject to market volatility, so you never even know how much you're going to be putting into them. Right? So typically, you are told, hey, why don't you save up, right? You save up for college, and then you spend it all down, right? That's how you're told to go after your goals, right? Save up and then spend it all down. What you're losing out on is the uninterrupted compounding interest. So instead of saving up and then just spending it down, why don't you save up your money in a place that has uninterrupted compounding interest, and whenever it comes time to use your money, why would you use your own money? Right? That's your money. Why don't you use somebody else's money? So what you can do is you can use this as collateral, and then you can use somebody else's money in these circumstances or situations, right? So you can use other people's money. Now, this is the exact same thing that the banks do. Do the banks use their own money? No, they lend out other people's money. The banks are out there and they're telling you to do one thing, but they're doing a completely opposite thing. So why would you not do the exact same thing that the banks do, right? It's too expensive to use your own money. Borrow other people's monies, right? So my money goes into accounts that continue to grow, and they also have something that allows me to reach my goals no matter what happens, right? And so that's a death benefit, right? Whenever you use these life insurance policies, like I've been talking about, you also have a death benefit. So whenever you go to use your money, your money's still up here, right? Your money is in collateral. You're actually taking the loan out against the death benefit. And then you pay this back, right? So you pay it back, and then your death benefit is restored to where it was originally. Okay? So that's incredibly powerful. Your money's up here, and you're using the bank's money in order to get that death benefit going. Okay? All right? Because one of the things that most people understand is, I don't want to die while my daughter's in college. I don't want to die whenever my son's in college. But if something was to happen to me, I want that to be paid for. if something happens here, I want that all to be paid for. Okay, so that's very powerful. The other part is debt is not taxable, right? So whenever you borrow from yourself and borrow from these institutions and these unstructured loans, that debt is not taxable. Whereas if you go and you borrow, or if you use your own money, from that 529, if you use it for anything other than that 529, if you have money in other accounts, if you use it for anything other than that account, or if it's in any of those taxable accounts, you're going to be paying the income taxes and you're going to be paying the fees on it. Okay? Now, as we look at these, this is just kind of the example of how your money continues to grow. What I'd like to do is show an actual illustration of what that looks like. And I hope that the camera is clear enough for you to see this. But that first piece, right? That first piece, we're looking at a male, age 30, select non-smoker. So a normally rated male, age 30. We're using a Prestige 10 pay. So what we do is we pay for this policy for 10 years. Now, instead of putting, most people, whenever they start saving up for college, they're putting money into two different places. They're putting money into the 529, and then they're putting money, let's say that you do choose to go tax-free and you put it into the Roth. You're putting $6,000 over here, and in the Roth, you're also putting $6,000. Right? And so this plan, we're going to use that total. Instead of putting it in those places, we are going to put $12,000, so $1,000 per month into this type of account and see what it does. All right, so $12,000 every year into this type of account. That grows. So all your money's in there. And then each year you pull out $18,000. So you pull out $18,000 for 4 years, and then you're adding your $12,000. So you're going to continue to add, right? So you're paying for your child to go to school for a total of $30,000 per year, right? You have $30,000 per year for a total of $120,000. Now, because this is your family vault, you're going to choose to pay yourself back. So you choose to pay yourself back here. So you're paying $12,000, and then you're going to pay that last payment to bring that policy to full and to whole, right? And then you never put a single penny back into it, right? You never put a single penny back into it, and you get to age 65. At age 65, you start withdrawing from this account, and you draw $15,000 every single year from this account, right? Pretty powerful to be able to draw $15,000 every single year from this account up till age 95. Now, a lot of people will tell me, hey, Aaron, that doesn't make sense. Why would I do that? And I'm going to show you just what the math says of why this is a better way to go about funding your college savings than saving up for college in a completely separate account and then going and doing something else. Okay. All right, so what we're looking at here, right? The engineer goes straight to the spreadsheet. So what we're looking at here is age 30. So same thing. We're putting $6,000 per year into the 529 and $6,000 per year into the Roth, right? So this is what most people would do, and that's how they would understand it. Now, that Roth balance and that 529 continue to grow until we have $60,000 in both these accounts, right? $6,000 times 10 years, $60,000. Now that same $18,000 that we withdrew on the other policy, and then the $12,000 that we added additional, right? So in order to get to 30 or to that 18, we're going to have negative 15 and then negative 3, right, from the Roth, right? You could do that so that it's, all coming off of this side first, and then that last chunk out of the Roth, if you chose to do that also, because you can actually draw your principal from your Roth without any type of penalties. Okay. Now here's the big kicker. At the end of that 14 years that that you saved up for your child and that you paid for college, and now your child has graduated college, that account is required to be closed, right? So you have to spend every dime in there, or you're going to be penalized for anything else that you withdraw out of that account. Okay, so pretty significant that, that's the way that those accounts are set up, so that you can only use it. It's that one bucket that can only be used for college. Now, if your child decides to go into the military, decides to start their own business, decides to do any other thing, right, you're going to be penalized for using that money. On the same side, right, after we withdrew all this money, after we paid for college, then we started the same thing as paying back that loan. We're going to start putting $12,000 a year back into this account. Okay. So 12,000, and then that last year, putting 11,000 in there. All right, so we were at 60,000, and then negative 3,000 each one of these years, and then we start building it back up, and that gets to 131. Okay, so I hope you're with me so far. Of course, the engineer is going through and just cranking out the numbers. All right, so same thing. You don't put another dollar into this, so that's a whole bunch of zeros until we get down here to age 64, and I just wanted to show what that number looks like there, right? So in order to withdraw 15,000 per year at the current recommended 2.8% withdrawal rate, you have to have a $500,000 saved up, right? You have to have a $500,000 saved up. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, that would have grown that way. Well, let's see what it would have actually grown to. So I've actually already done this math. So let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. All right. So here we go. So you started off at 131,000. You're not putting any more into it, and you have to have 535,714 in order to start withdrawing at that 2.8% withdrawal rate. Right, and that 2.8 comes off the Monte Carlo theory, based off of having $1 left at the end of a set number of years, after 20 years. Right, so having $1 left after 20 years will get you to that 2.8, and even that is only a 97%. Now, if we were getting on a flight together and we were flying to Hawaii, and the captain got on the intercom and said, "Hey, everybody, we're going to be going to Hawaii today. Aloha." What we're doing is we're going to have kind of a bumpy flight. We're going to face some turbulence, and we have a 97% chance of making it there safely. I don't know about you, but I'm getting off the plane because there's a plane right next to it, and the captain gets on and he says, "Aloha, everybody. Hey, we're going to go slow and steady today. We're going to fly above the turbulence. And we are going to get there to Hawaii safely and soundly, and we have a 100% chance of getting there." Right? That's the path that I'm going to choose. Okay? So going back here to that, what rate of return you would have to have, right? You would have to have a 9.84% rate of return, right? And that's not including the fees that you're also going to have to pay. So if you're looking at paying an advisor a 1.5% fee, or paying any type of brokerage a 1.5% fee for having your account there, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Now, if you look at market volatility, and if you watched any of my other videos whenever we talk about the actual rate of return versus the real rate of return, you'll see that this 9.844 is probably closer to, once you add in the 1.5%, 12, 13, and then once you add in market volatility into there, at least kind of a 15%, right? We don't know those numbers exactly because we can't predict the future. But if you had something, an alternative that you were placed right in front of you, why would you not choose that alternative that will get you the exact same results over time without having to deal with the risk, without having to deal with just the challenges that go with it, and without having to deal with taxes, fees, and market volatility? This is Aaron Godwin talking about the private family vaults, and I encourage you to lean in, learn anything, and if you have any questions, reach out to me. Thank you.